This is William, hopefully your favorite videographer. We are here at the Dallas Area Rapid Transit Board meeting, the agency known as DART to Dallas, Texas residents. As a service to the Dallas community, we plan to cover DART board meeting from gavel to gavel. Public comments are required to keep DART board aware of issues close to the ridership that they may not get through other resources.
I know, I turned my mic on, I apologize. It is now 6:44, and the board meeting for Dallas Area Rapid Transit is now in session. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from July 10th, 2018. Do I have a motion, or first of all, is there anybody have any changes to the minute? Okay, do I have a motion to approve? On a second? Thank you. All in favor, push your button, please. And also, if you're opposed, you can push your button too. Okay, the motion passes. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is the PAG report and our most valuable driver recognition. Who is going to do that? Annie, do it. It's nice to be back. Welcome back.
I'm going to give a report of the PAG meeting of July 20th. Doug Douglas, Vice President of Mobility Management Services, made the introduction, welcomed everyone, and presented the agenda. He introduced Fred Ingram with Toyota, our future PAG member. Roundtable introductions from everyone attending today's PAG meeting. Approval of April the 20th, 2018 PAG meeting minutes. Doug Douglas, Vice President of Mobility Management Administration. Approval of April the 20th, 2018 minutes confirmed. Confirmation of board report. Doug Douglas, Vice President of Mobility Management. 8:14. Annie Jones and me will present the board report to DART board. 10:30:18. Marcia Anderson will present the board report to the DART board. Most Valuable Operators Award, John Taylor, Director of Community Outreach, NV Transportation Incorporated. Most Valuable Operators for second quarter 2018. NVOs were recognized in front of the PAG Committee. Brian Livey and Peter Houston, not present. Each will receive a check worth $200 from DART and MV, and a plaque to be presented at the next DART board meeting on tonight, 8/14/18. NMS mail out updates of lanyards. Tammy Effling, AVP Mobility Management Services. Can everybody hear me? Yes. I'm not doing this very well. Tammy spoke and updated the status of new lanyards for badges. MNS will be handing out lanyards throughout the year at different centers for DART riders, instead of the original plan of mailing them out. The plan was changed due to the high cost of bills. This is something for next, the telephonic interpretation services. We saw a video. If Chris viewed it, Equal Opportunity Represented Diversity Outreach did, of now DART, and interpreted 14 different languages for people that call in and can't speak English. I'm so proud of DART for doing something like this. You should be too. Chris presented on all the different language interpretations available for DART and riders and passengers. As I said, 14 different languages now they can have translators for, and we used to only have 2, English and Spanish. The service went live on September 2017. The presentation was attached along with the minutes. Update on NMS contract. Doug Douglas, Vice President of Mobility Management. Doug Douglas updated the PAG members on the status of contracts with an emphasis on new technologies. In July 2018, MMS will have completed the REFP request for proposal and will evaluate by the end of September. The new contract will be awarded by the end of December 2018 for service running by October 2019. Tammy Essling spoke and followed up on the steps in the process that has occurred in the last 2 years for the new MMS contracts. Now the next part is service delivery, and they heard from individual members on their service or writing services. Doug Douglas opened the floor for any questions or concerns on service. A few service issues were discussed and brought to a discussion by the CAG members and answered by Dory and MV. Annie Jones, that's me, continues to have issues with lift text messages and drivers. It seems they can never find me, even though I've lived at this establishment for 33 years. Hopefully it'll get better. But they have difficulty with serving apartment complexes because they use a different contact number. They don't text. The drivers do not text, and that's the only way that I can hear from them. Teresa Gofanti suggested using a GPS pin for a more accurate location for pickup if a smartphone allows. My phone is not a smartphone, and I can't afford one. Tammy stated Michelle from MD is working on this issue for me. Angela White on the continuation of phone use by drivers, and it has not been resolved yet. Keith Angela spoke to Ms. White's concerns and will address them with operators. Camilla spoke on accommodations for riders concerning the length of time for a trip. That's probably their transit. Doug responded the new contract will prioritize on-time issues. Teresa spoke and thanked Keith. He done a job well done with Where's My Ride. But reservations still need attention due to driver calls and the wait time for a call. Pamela Clark spoke on her issues with the system problem as far as being on time. Kendra spoke and addressed issues with Lyft, not aware of on-time issues, but will address it with Lyft. Angela White spoke on her issues with Where's My Ride, as well as on-time performance. Teresa Gofanti suggested to call 15 minutes before you ride to avoid any issues. She was talking about Lyft, and that for me does not work. They won't respond until my time for pickup is due. Agenda items for October the 20th, 2018. Meeting in Napa. Doug Douglas, Vice President of Mobility Management. PAG members should contact our staff if they have an item to add to the new agenda. Our next PAG meeting will continue an update on the new MMS contract. Joe Costello will speak regarding upcoming changes to dark fare system. Neva would like to know or receive information on process for training of our operators. Rob informed everyone that on September the 18th, downtown Dallas Sheridan will hold the 9th annual employment gathering. And I believe it's your turn. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I'm Doug Douglas, Vice President of Mobility Management Administration.
Right.
You heard that several times. I just want to say before I present the board that Ms. Annie Jones is a very special lady. We've have known one another for almost 30 years, from the time I've been here in Dark. She was one of the original members of our mobility marriage advisory panel back before there was a PAC. There are only two of those original members remaining, Danny Jones and Hilda Swat. So we just want to thank her for her years. Tonight I'm going to be presenting two awards, Most Valuable Driver, Most Valuable Operator, both on the van side and on the taxi side. And I'm going to start with the van side for the summer of 2018. Our most valuable operator on the van side is Byron Lively. Byron Lively has served the Dark Paratransit community since June 2012 and made the transition to transportation in January 2015. Byron has been a strong advocate for the paratransit community and has exhibited 5-star customer service to all of our riders. He is a dedicated employee who will readily admit that he loves his job and is ready for any assignment, even outside of his designated area. Byron is respected by his customers, co-workers, and management alike. The MV management team is always comfortable and confident that when Byron is behind the wheel, his work will be performed professionally. Byron has no unexcused absences, no complaints, is accident-free, and is one of the hardest working operators on staff. When he is not at work, Byron enjoys helping others, going to church, watching sports, and sharing food. He is the proud father of 2 children, a 14-year-old and 1 adult. Byron tonight will be receiving a lapel pin, a plaque, and a check for $200 from Dark, matched by $200 from MV Transportation. Joining us tonight to congratulate our honorees is Scott Snosky, Chief Sales Officer from MV Transportation's corporate office. Please join me in congratulating Operator Byron Lively, most valuable operator. Since joining Urban Holdings in 1995, Ida Zane has consistently proven himself to be one of the company's most professional and reliable drivers. He has received numerous commendations during his time at Urban Holdings, including honors from Medicaid, Handytran, and DART. His family is happy, friendly demeanor, is contagious, and always bright with the day when we go out. Vida's biggest strength is making his customers feel welcome, particularly those who have had difficulty using the service. He is frequently praised by his customers for showing them the utmost care, being patient and friendly, consistently the elderly with no demand. Vida once said in an interview, when I pick up or drop off, the first thing I do is make sure everything is safe. They get close enough to the curb so they can step up into the van without having to negotiate a high step. When I'm driving, I try to watch out for everyone, since many other drivers are in a hurry or simply not paying attention. He was born in Pakistan and moved to the United States almost 30 years ago. One of his first jobs was driving a taxi, where he was ultimately recommended for the Medicaid program. He spends most of his time reading news and political related items. Vida will be receiving a lapel pin, plaque, a check for $200 New York match by $200 unique to the store meeting. Congratulations to be the most valuable driver. Thank you. That concludes our presentation.
The next section is our public comment period. I'm going to read our script again. I know y'all probably get tired of hearing it, but it's required. General public comments will be allowed at the beginning of each start board meeting for a total of 30 minutes. And again, at the end of the meeting, when the 30-minute period does not accommodate all persons who have signed up to speak. Excuse me. If you wish to speak at the end of the meeting, please fill out a public speaker card and turn it into board support staff prior to the start of the meeting. Individuals who have addressed the board in the past 30 days will be recognized to speak during the public comment period at the end of the meeting. During the public comment period, board members may not interact with speakers or other board members by asking questions or offering their own comments. Members of the public are reminded that their behavior during a dark board meeting is governed by the Dark Board Code of Conduct for citizens, news, media, and visitors. Personal attacks, impertinent or slanderous remarks, and boisterous conduct will not be allowed. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board. The green light on the podium will indicate when you can begin speaking. The yellow light indicates that you have 1 minute remaining, and the yellow light indicates you have 1 minute remaining, and the red light indicates that your time has expired. So, out of courtesy to Kenneth Day and Mr. Christian, remember, for those of you who were there, they were not here to speak last time. I put them at the front of the speaker list, so Kenneth Day and Mr. Christian, please come down. And then we will start, and my apologies that we missed you last time.
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
Madam Chair, honorable board members, I miss you as well. I'd like to start this evening by just commending you for balancing all the responsibilities you have. You have your personal lives, you have the agency issues, and then you have the employees issues. And thank you for balancing these responsibilities you have. I would like to say, I wasn't here last time, and I want to speak on the medical insurance. I know out of concern of the employees that you have and we have, I want to let you know that we're trying to work with the issues. I can tell you that the issues have not been 100% resolved, but we're working through it. In addition to that, I would like to say to you, as you consider changing your federal transit model, I'm going to caution you to be very, very cautious. When you're dealing with the most vulnerable population, the best experience that population can get will be from the dedicated drivers. No one takes the responsibility, the care, and the love and the relationship for those passengers like those dedicated drivers. I know the world is changing, transit is changing, but you got to be very cautious when you start talking about Lyfts, Ubers, and even our taxes. No one is going to give you the service like the dedicated drivers. So when you consider your paratransit, please consider that. Look over the history. I've stood here before, and I've cautioned you, and we've had problems. Not saying whatever you do, you're not going to have problems, but some of the problems can be avoided. One other thing before I go, there is still a fact-finding decision out there. The last responsibility is the board's. I'm waiting for an action from the York board. Under the AEM policy, it states that if there is a majority decision, if the board, the agency does not accept it, then it comes to the board. If the board does not accept the majority recommendation, then it has to be publicized in the newspaper. It's been several months. But accurate, I think around November is when we got the majority award. And the last decision, as far as the internal process, is with you, the board. So I'm asking you all to take up that matter, give us a yes or no. Hopefully, you will go with the majority opinion. If not, we're ready to move forward and publicize it in the newspaper. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Day, appreciate it. I've just gotten word we have a technical glitch, and I know you're going to hate this, but the timer is broken. So we're going to be timing you manually, I suppose. Okay, somebody's going to have to give the word. We'll work through it. Okay. Again, thank you, Mr. Day. Appreciate it, Mr. Christian.
Oh, Lord. Oh, you will come up with that glitch when I get up here.
Of course.
Hey, I want to speak on some issues consistent with what we brought to the table the last few months. First and foremost, the insurance. Second, the 504. And then third, these DOTs. DOTs is still the issue, but Mr. Muhammad has assured me that they're working diligently with ATU as far as resolving the issue. 504 is still opposed to it. I'm hoping they should do away with it and implement something new. Consistent with the issue, I want to commend Ms. Cheryl Orr and Ms. Sherman Orr. I want to commend herself and her staff for the employees that reached out to her in need, consistent of the insurance. They worked very, very hard as far as taking care of the drivers. And on ATU's behalf, and on DART's behalf, and without much more being said consistent of that, I want to commend it. One thing Mr. Day brought up, consistent of dedicated drivers. We're hearing about you talking about going outside. And as he indicated before, it would be a great mistake. Because our dedicated drivers consist of MD with the representative of Keith, Agnew, Tom, John, and Michelle. They worked very, very hard with ATU as far as fixing the issues that we have going on now. I want to commend the drivers of MD because they take wholeheartedly things that I couldn't do. It's hard dealing with handicapped, less fortunate, sick and shut in. That's very hard. That's very complicated. So it takes dedicated drivers, heartfelt drivers, believing in what they do, and representing the reason why they do it. So I want to commend the drivers of the MB, and I want to encourage you, do not make the mistake of bringing in someone else to do the jobs that they do because no one does what they do. And on behalf of Ms. Keith, Tom, John, and Michelle, I want to commend you for doing an outstanding service. I can speak on instances where you had drivers, when passengers lose their money, drivers turn it in. You had drivers where consistent of passengers passing out on the buses. They rushed them to the hospital. Now, they come on this behalf. That individual that passed out on the bus that possibly could have lost their life if it wasn't likely in the lobby of the driver They may not be here today. And just one thing I gotta think consistent of that. That could have been my parent. It could have been my mother, or my father, my sister, or my brother. So on behalf of that, I want to encourage you, do not make a mistake of bringing someone else in to do, yes ma'am, bringing someone else to do what you think they're going to be able to do. Because they're going to tell you one thing, these people are living each and every day. On that point, I appreciate you.
Mr. Christian. The next speaker is Emiliano Palamo, followed by Charles May.
Man?
Well, I'm here just to share a few words, breaking truths or promises or anything. But I wanted to speak about the security systems we've had. And some of the security systems we have, I think that are kind of poorly designed and constructed. And it seems to me that they're very passive sometimes whenever you speak to them. And I think they don't look at more how security reports are actually made and confirmations on how when their reports are actually made. We live in a very high level, progressive technology world that's moving very rapidly all the time. And I remember 25 years ago, you could buy a machine that could detect speedometers from 6 or 7 miles away. And necessarily weapons aren't necessarily just projectiles. It's something they either a laser beam, pulse machines, and some of the things that I've experienced personally. But it takes a lot to be able to convince someone you're not crazy. You have to do counter surveillance, you have to do bug sweeps, and I think that will be how maybe y'all should consider that maybe someone's doing away with security and making it about themselves, and maybe y'all should do things like bug sweeps occasionally, and with the security systems and maybe possible metal detectors. But there's also another thing is the sanitization and the cleaning environments you have. Some of the buses you have trained are just like really awfully clean, like dirty. There's a lot of sick people on there. Sometimes you have, messes that happen, and majority of the time that I would get on the bus and train, it's pretty dirty. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in there that I know that maybe at the end of the shift, you get a bus driver, you get a train director, personnel to go through there quickly, clean everything up, make sure it's nobody slipping on any, messes, food, alcohol, or anything like that. And I think that I know that I rode the bus in Seattle and in Denver, and they have Wi-Fi there. And I know the bus fees are going to be raising this month, and given the fact that we're all going to have to start paying more money, that maybe you should consider adding Wi-Fi capabilities, not only ensure that you receive your payments online immediately, but it would accommodate people to feel more comfortable and be like, okay, I can go to darkness from Wi-Fi while the bus and trains will be occupied. That's kind of just the brief of some of the things I wanted to talk about and my experiences with it, because I've made police reports myself before, but it takes a lot of evidence to consider that maybe someone's doing something else with what they all have.
Mr. Palamo, your time is up, but thank you for coming. And by the way, there are two people in the room that might be able to help you. One of them is Deputy Chief Ed Addison about the safety and security issue, and the other one is Harold Humphrey about the cleanliness issue. And they're both here if they can identify where they are so you can talk to them. I think you're over there.
I'm over here.
That's the
Okay.
chief, and there's
Right over
Mr.
there.
Yeah. So they will talk more with you about that if you would share that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for
all.
coming down, appreciate that, thank you. Charles May is our next speaker, followed by Billy L. Allen.
Good evening. Charles Mann,
What's in that?
4515
Live Oak, over East Dallas. Before I commence, I just have to wonder out loud, is this meeting,
Well, I hate to interrupt you, but this is a Charles May. Is there a Charles May in the audience?
Me.
That was the problem, Mr. May, and I'll call you back, okay? Apology. This is Charles May. And thank you, Mr. May. I'm sorry about our confusion here.
It's okay.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was just, like the other, like, see, it was like back in June, I had read on the internet about DART, and I had saw the things, the penalties supposed to go, the bus vote on August 18th of this month. The bus fare was supposed to go to $6, and I was just wondering, like, what was, like, I was just trying to find out, like, what was the reason, like, the bus fare going, like, the fares going up, cause, like, I didn't realize till I read on my phone, and I was trying to figure out why it's going up, like, it's going up an extra dollar, like $6 now, and I had called DART, and the guy told me, for me, I used to pay this, for my reduced ID, it's $2.50 for me to be on the bus. Now it's gonna cost me $3, and I heard y'all don't have no passes no more, than 7-day passes, cause it's gonna be an AM and a PM pass. I was just wondering y'all fast stuff, but I was trying to figure out like what was going on, and I was just like I know some people, I know a lot of people got jobs, but I was just trying to like find out like a lot of people can't afford it, like how they making on the bus and stuff. I was trying to find out, like, a lot of people don't have that, like, that, and we was trying to find out what was the, like, why, like, y'all just, like, can you please keep it, like, lower, like, don't go raise the fares, please, because, like, a lot of people can't afford it. And, it's just, like, I was just trying to find out if y'all could please just keep the fares lower, because a lot of people don't have that much to afford, and they got to survive on themselves, and they got to keep paying $6 every day for the bus. At first, y'all still got it for $5, like, and can y'all please keep this, if y'all could, anything, like, I know y'all probably can't change it now, but if y'all can, but it'll be great if y'all can just keep it $5, and for me $2.50 to get on the bus. And another thing I want to talk about real quick before my time is up, it's just like the bus is always like late, and like it's like it's this bus driver, and she always like late, and I was trying to figure out like, cause it's like she always be late on Saturdays, and I was trying to figure out what she always make miss the train. I was trying to figure out like why these buses always late. Like I was just like wondering, because it's like they don't never be on schedule, and they just sit there like they don't like they supposed to know what's coming, and it's just beautiful. Like I got like if I have to leave to a dentist appointment or anything, it's gonna make me late. So y'all please do something about these buses. And sometimes just do better, and think if y'all could change the first back to, if y'all keep it back to $5, I'd be great. It'll be so great for everybody. Just keep it, please keep it low. And we need the bills to just stay $5, $2.50, don't go up, please, because I'll just beg y'all, please, y'all keep it low.
Mr. May, your time's up, and I appreciate your comments. Thank you very much. The next speaker, Billy Allen, followed by Isaac Davis. Is Mr. Allen and Mr. Davis in the audience?
I'm Mr. Davis.
Okay, would you come down?
Mr. Allen, I'm here.
I don't see him. If he is, he's welcome to come down. And the next speaker after that is Daryl Humphrey.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Isaac Davis. I live at 11141 East Lake Highlands Drive in Dallas. Yeah, so I have this little fair, little booklet you'll have to advertise the new fairs, and I think the double speak in here is really funny. It's like there's as much seems like there's as much of an attempt as possible to not say that you're actually just screwing people over and raising fares way high. It's like, oh look, all these new fancy things that we're doing. Actually, you're just being mean. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was looking online, and it said that the chief DART executive makes $720,000 a year. I think that we have people who work for DART who make $15 an hour. So I think before you raise fares, maybe you should think about cutting some executive salaries first. Yeah, I think some of y'all also owe me some money. I don't really make that much money. I work for an education nonprofit, and they usually provide passes to everyone, but since the fares are going up, the majority of our employees now can't get the passes from our jobs because they can't afford it because we're a nonprofit. Yeah, so that's great. Yeah, oh yeah, some of y'all owe me money because I think if you voted for the fare increase, you're taking money out of my pocket, and that's not fair. And normally whenever people take money out of my pocket, I get mad, and I'm like, okay, but you stole money from me, so I need that back. So if you want to write me a check, my name is Isaac, I-S-A-A-C, Riley, R-I-L-E-Y, Davis, D-A-V-I-S. I take check, Venmo, PayPal, cash is good. If you want to meet me out back, it'll be fun. Maybe you can give me a Walmart gift card. I don't know, but right now, this situation is just not working very well. So, I mean, shame on you. What you're doing is dirty. It's wrong. And I mean, we're gonna still be here. We're still coming. I mean, people are mad. I'm mad. I mean, y'all are basically lying to people about what's going on. It's fares are going up for no reason. We have people over here being listen, I'm not gonna be able to afford to get to work. But I mean, y'all are sitting here sitting pretty. Do any of y'all ride DART on a regular basis? I have questions. So. Yeah, also, the buses are dirty. Also, I don't know, I think you should pay your drivers more, and maybe pay your executives less. I don't know, I think I have some more time. So, I mean, $6 for a day pass is kind of expensive. $960 a year for an annual pass is ridiculous. That's 10% of my annual salary I'm paying you. So, I mean, if you want to give me $960, that'd be cool. But yeah, I don't know. You should really think about voting again because this is bad.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this up now.
Okay. Again, I take checks, so you can give me one.
Daryl Humphrey,
Yes, ma'am.
great, and followed by William Godfrey.
Hello, board. My name is Daryl Humphrey, and I'm here to say that, I don't agree with the raising the fare. I think that DART needs to stop and take a look at the way that we can trim a little bit of that fat off the meat so that we can go ahead. And one of the things that I've been seeing is that you're taking care of your people. That's one. That's excellent. But some of the things I've been seeing, do you listen to the people that's on the ground? A lot of times people don't. Dallas is in a position to go and grow. And I think that your capabilities of getting us around to the places that we need to go can be enhanced by just your management doing your job. I've went to several places, I was here before. I still see the same thing over at Presbyterian Hospital. Consideration of access to crossing the street, or even getting up on the sidewalk to be safely out of traffic. There's no, you only have accessibility on one side. There's no consideration of accessibility on the other. So we could have your management take a better look at it in your planning. I can see straight out that you have many projects that's coming forward. I would like to see your management more active and be on those sites to really see. I know that you're doing the best that you can, but I'm still saying no to your fair raise. I don't think it's fair. The consideration that the money that we're spending right now and the commitment that you had when you said that you were going to take in consideration the people of lower income in your grants. So if you could go ahead and consider that and possibly wait till the end of the year to see where we're going. There's a lot going on. People are looking at Texas. We got an answer. I know that you care. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, appreciate it. Next speaker is William Dockery, followed by Cookie Eaton.
I was hoping you were going to save me for last, but I think I always go out. William Dockery, 4326 Jackson Avenue. This is a kudos report for you. In the past year and a half, we were trying to vote the 2 tribal wills for the homeless, where they could deal with their counselors. They don't have counselors because they want to list work with you, and they can buy discounted bus passes, so they can get to the doctor, so they can get a job, and try to get their food checked up. The 2 tribal wills are getting passed because I hear that you're going to make this program permanent somewhere around December or January. So I'm very glad that the job is going to try to help one of the fewest and helpless people along this belt, those homeless. And I'm asking a suggestion that you may try for another loan okay, my memory just came out. Come on, 70-year-old guy. A hardship tax. Maybe consider a hardship tax based on people who work with counselors that actually make a little minimum wage or whatever to get to their jobs or whatnot. I'm asking you
Thank you. Next speaker is Cookie Eaton. Is Mr. Eaton here?
She had to leave.
Oh, okay, thank you. Josh Crabtree, followed by Nathan Novy.
I'll try to time myself. That's okay.
Okay, great.
Hi, my name is Josh Crabtree, and I'm a member of the North Texas Transit Riders and a resident of the Dallas Design District. I've spoken in front of the board several times, and as always, I say thank you and express my gratitude for being allowed to do so. Last time I was here, I spoke in May regarding the status of bus stops on the south side of Dallas. Ms. Bauman referred me to Mr. Plesko and his staff, and I want to acknowledge Ms. Bauman and say thank you for that referral. Mr. Plesko and his staff have been very helpful and answered questions posed by myself and other members of the North Texas Transit Riders. He and his staff examined 13 stops and determined 1 stop at Overton and Bonney View qualified for a bench. That bench was placed in July. The North Texas Transit Riders have hosted 2 pop stop community events, one of which was at the Bonney View and Overton site. At each event, we raised a canopy and placed chairs underneath it so dark bus riders had a place to sit in the shade. We let those riders know at the Overton and Bonney View site that a bench would be placed, and they were very appreciative of that. However, I did want to make note that we had multiple riders come up to us and ask what it would take to have a shelter placed. Unfortunately, under the current amenity system, that isn't possible. The cutoff for shelters could be daily boardings, And according to the APC data that's taken twice per year that was provided to us, that specific stop had 33 boardings ahead, so it only qualified for a badge. The Operations Committee was briefed on June 5th regarding bus stop amenities. During that meeting, one committee member suggested looking at a point-based system as an alternative to the current system in place for placing amenities. A point-based system would hopefully take into account context around the stop. For example, Metro Transit in Houston uses a point-based system for placing amenities. If the stop reaches 35 points, a shelter is placed. Points are awarded as follows: 1 point per boarding, 2 points per transfer, 5 points for proximity to light rail, apartment complex, retail establishment, or an entertainment complex, and lastly, 15 points for proximity to a hospital or an assisted living center. I know DART has a keen interest in increasing its ridership like other transit authorities across the country. And according to a Streets Blog article in 2017, only 3 major transit authorities increased their ridership: Seattle, Phoenix, and Houston. I was curious what Houston did, so here's what I found. They underwent a huge major overhaul of their bus system in 2016. But they also, one interesting thing was, they increased their budget for shelters by 25% and agreed to build 100 shelters each year following 2016. In addition, they implemented an opt-to-stop program to allow community members to be involved with cleaning up those stops. I think that's my time, so thank you.
Appreciate it. The next speaker is Nathan Novi, followed by Molly Baird.
Members of the board, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Nathan Novi. I am a member of the North Texas Transit Riders, and I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that a 20% fare hike to the transit agency, the directors hesitates to enact sweeping, effective changes to the quality of the service for passengers, as well as improve the quality of employment for drivers and all DART personnel. Bus stops are neglected, passengers are late, stations are still unsafe, and some of the needs for many employees are still not met. But somehow the hesitation still merits the fare hike. Price goes up for all the service. But in light of recent events, I'm also very disappointed. I'm also very disappointed in DART's mistreatment of one of the only effective tools that the average citizen can use to address a board that is solicit. To change the start time of a public meeting twice in the past 36 hours causes undue confusion and is a burden of the citizens to give up the time in their day to attend a meeting. In my mind, making such a sudden last-minute change is a sign of poor planning and time management at best, or a deliberately shady and underhand tactic verging on illegality at worst. To see you guys do this more than once in the past year is shocking to sound. That being said, with the last minute rescheduling and looming fare hike in mind, you should all realize sooner or later that the North Texas Transit Riders will not stand down, and we will hold this up against you. Because in the face of this type of action from the board, we will continue to strive for a better Dallas area under transit service, one that truly operates like a public utility that provides for all the communities it serves. One that's service and credibility is drastically improved to provide reliable and efficient service for everyone. One that improves the communities it serves without having to spend a dime on local city funds. And it's all employees and passengers alike get the service that they deserve. The North Texas Transit Riders will continue to do what they can to represent the passengers and voice the concerns of these communities. No matter the height and no matter the time, the North Texas Transit Riders will see you all at the next meeting and the next one. The next one, the next one. Thank you.
Are you Ms. Baird?
Ms. Byron, yes.
Byron, thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and finish Josh's statement. He did finish it. I did not being prepared today. So the last part of this is the VIA in San Antonio also made a similar commitment to amenities. Approximately 95% of stops are covered according to an article I found in the San Antonio Express News. This all goes into providing a better according to a Farm and City presentation I attended earlier in July, the VIA has the highest ridership of public transit in the state. To be clear, better amenities isn't the sole reason, but it does help with the customer experience and encourage higher ridership. In summary, thank you for hearing our concerns and the concerns of the community regarding bus stop amenities. The North Texas Transit riders are committed to pushing DART to provide better conditions for the riders both now and in the future. My name is Molly Byer, a resident of Dallas. I'm a member of the North Texas Transit Riders. I live in North Oak Cliff. I work in the medical district as a research professional in one of our hospitals. I published a piece on, it's probably pretty obvious why I'm here, fares. I published a piece in the Dallas Morning News on May 12th titled How the DART Fare Hike Will Unfairly Burden Low-Income People. That got published. I urge you all to go read it, but in case you don't, I'm going to read a little bit of it today. So I'm here to talk about the concern about the DART fare hike that was approved with an 8-7 split at the DART board. And the impending fare hike is particularly worrisome given that we'll have a disparate impact on low-income communities and communities of color within the Dallas area. Many DART stops are located near two important sites, major hospitals, especially Parkland, which is disproportionately used by people without cars and also food pantries. The ability to connect to these sites via public transportation is part of the concept of basic mobility and access to essential services. People who are transit dependent are more likely to be minorities, seniors, low income, and have disabilities. Their basic mobility is really likely to be impacted by the impending fare hikes. So I go on to talk about food deserts and how people get to food pantries throughout this, and then I go on to talk about how this is going to impact food security and potentially people's ability to feed their children. For reference, I did research in food pantries for 30 years while I was in grad school. And then I talk about residential segregation in Dallas, which I'd like to read. Residential segregation by income and race contributes to health disparities. In Dallas, according to the Pew Research Center, is one of the most segregated cities in terms of race and income. And according to the Urban Institute, has the highest level of overall neighborhood by neighborhood inequality in the U.S. One way to counter the effects of urban segregation is to give those without private transportation in underserved areas a public option that is affordable. In an analysis done by UTA, transportation is unaffordable as is to 99.1% of the population in the transit-dependent core, and which basically means the center of Dallas, and 97.4% of the population in Dallas. Thank you.
Thank you. The 30-minute comment period is over, and we're going to move to the, Mr. Killen, do you want to make a statement now? You requested?
Sure, thank you, Chair. I just want to make a comment since this is the last board meeting before our approved fare hike goes in. I just wanted to make a statement. So, one, I just want to let everyone know that the fare increase that is going into effect on the 18th has in fact been delayed for over a year, really to allow the new board to have more input on what was going to happen, and that ultimately did lead to some really important improvements. I won't list them all now, but as you know, there have been certain things that staff and the board have worked through to improve the way our fare program works. And we don't take the decision lightly to raise fares. We are actively working on reviewing our fare structure and the associated policies that go on with that. And so I want to let you know that the conversations are going to continue taking place throughout the fall with the expectation that the board and staff will work together so that around the end of the year, no set date, but around the end of the year, we will come back with some suggestions and ways that we might change the policy. And two of the most important things that we're going to look at, again, no commitment that anything's been decided, but we certainly want to look at the way that we do our 5-year 20% increases that are currently in the budget. I think I can speak for the board, but there's significant will to change from doing those huge increases and moving to something that's more manageable and an annual increase so that people can better track and figure out what those increases look like and what the impact might be on their budgets. And then secondly, to look at expanding eligibility for our reduced fare program. We certainly recognize that while we believe that our fares are reasonable, especially in relation to other agencies and the services that we provide, we do recognize that we have a significant portion of our population that is affected by our fare increases, but just the fares in general. And so we want to be sensitive to that and want to look into that. But ultimately, whatever decisions that we make, we certainly appreciate the engagement that we're getting from the community. And we don't want to be a body that is simply going to decide this in a vacuum or in some committee room. And we do want to try to continue to get community input. And so continue to be patient with us as a board as we work through what we believe is going to be a big change for the way that we do fare policy. But we did want to address it since this is the last board meeting before our fare increase.
Okay, thank you. I had one other request, and did you want to say anything? Mr. Killen covered your comment.
Thank you, Board Chair. We generally don't get the time to kind of talk and at these board meetings, and so I do want to just echo, piggyback what my colleague, Mr. Killen, has said regarding that this is an ongoing conversation that the board is intending to have, and that although you don't see this conversation taking place here at this board meeting, there are conversations that are being had in committee meetings regarding what we hear here, and also the feedback that we get back from our member cities and their population. So I just wanted to echo that and say thank you so much for the comments and the feedback.
Okay, we're going to go down to our regular agenda. We have the consent agenda, and we have items 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 on the consent agenda. Is there a motion to pass the
Chair, we're pulling at 7, as it'll be considered in 2 weeks at the committee.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm revising that is item number 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second. Thank you very much. All in favor, please press your button. And if you disapprove also, I'm sorry. The item, thank you. The items pass unanimously. The next item is the individual items for individual consideration. Item number 15 is Ms. Marino.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to take the items 15, 16, and 17 together, if I may. Approval of the interlock agreement between DART and the City of Capel, providing property contributions to support design service and construction of DART Cotton Belt Corridor Regional Rail Project. The same thing goes for item number 16 and 17. It's an interlock agreement between the City of Plano and the City of Richardson, and that's providing funding and project contributions in support of design service and construction of DART Cotton Belt Corridor Regional Rail Project. These 3 items did come before the committee as a whole, and I move approval of these 3 items.
Second.
I heard a motion and a second. All in favor or against, push your button. The motion is passed. Thank you very much. Well, the 18 and 19 were heard at the committee of the whole. Item number 20, Mr. Wageman.
Madam Chair, I'm pleased to make a motion for approval to distribute the proposed fiscal year 2019 annual budget and 20-year financial plan to the municipalities within DART service area for its review. This again is a preliminary budget, not the final budget.
Did you move the Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second, okay. All in favor or against, please push your button. The motion passes. Thank you very much. We'll now go to the last, pardon me. The last item on the agenda, again, is public comments. The same rules apply as they did in the beginning. Let me get those cards out. The first speaker will be Alex Selecki. And now Ms. Pilecki is followed by Bob Crawford. Is Ms. Pilecki here? I don't, oh, there she is.
Hi, my name is Alex Galecki, and I'm also a member of the North Texas Transit Riders. I'd just like to express concern over the fact that today's DART board meeting and the last July DART board meeting were both moved up from 6:30 to 6 p.m. and the last legally allowed minute on Friday, just days before the meeting. Last minute changes to the DART board meeting time make it harder for the general public to attend these public DART board meetings. Earlier meetings also make it harder for people to attend, particularly those who get off work at 5 or later and then have to take public transportation all the way to Akron. Secondly, I'd like to once again call for ATU Local 1338 member Sherlyn Samuel to be reinstated in her job with full back pay. Requiring was clear retaliation by DART against an outspoken advocate for DART employees and DART riders. And finally, I have here the rest of the 7,514 signatures that North Texas Transit Riders have collected over the past year with no paid canvassers, only volunteers from DART riders who oppose the upcoming DART fare hike. This additional stack brings the total number of signatures that we have collected against the DART fare hike to 7,514. We already presented the first 6,000 or so signatures to the DART board in February of this year, so I'll just give this to y'all. Also, in presenting these signatures to the DART board, I'd like to thank the 7 DART board members who voted against the DART fare hike back in February. And I'd also like to point out that according to DART's current schedule for rolling out the fare hike and the fare restructure, the fare hike will be implemented on August 18th, but fare capping, which was supposed to be one of the ways that DART would ameliorate the disparate impact from the fare hike on low-income communities and communities of color, will not begin until September 1st or be fully implemented until November 1st. If the DART board is dead set on raising fares this time, and hopefully the last time, it's my understanding that the LA bus riders union has prevented fare hikes for the past 9 years. Then at the very least, we should either wait until fare capping is fully in effect before implementing the fare increase, or drastically expand DART's now very limited low-income fare programs. Thank you.
Bob Crawford, followed by Alita Green.
First of all, I'd like to say I have a movie out. It's called HisNameIsBob.com. It was put out since 1981. And my second question is this. These DART board riders have no respect for passengers. And I'll tell you one thing. When the cab drivers go out of their way and drink it on the job, and nobody does anything about it, I think there ought to be some changes with the cab drivers, because they have no respect for the riders. They go too fast when you ask them to slow down. And I think these cab drivers ought to have a fair evaluation when they get in these cabs and have respect for us elder folks. That's all I have this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is Alita Green in the audience?
She stepped back. I stepped up and she'll be back.
Okay, then I'll move her to the back there. Okay. Now, really, this is really Charles Mann. Is he, Mr. Mann?
He left.
Oh, sorry, okay. How about Gary Stewart? Followed by Marvin Reese.
Evening, Board. My name is Gary Stewart. I'm I'm a resident of Dallas, 6133 Riker Avenue. I am a member and one of the founding members of the North Texas Transit Riders, and also I'm a member of North Texas Democratic Socialists of America, as well as System Change and Climate Change. First, I want to reiterate what the young gentleman said earlier about the change the original change in the beginning of this meeting, which is outrageous. It happened once before, and it really impeded people coming and speaking. And to find out at the last minute or yesterday that the meeting had been pushed earlier really smacks of disingenuousness or just flat out opposition to allow citizens to speak. We take note of this and we will not forget it. We cannot trust you because we know that if someone of you is making like how many multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is criminal, no one deserves that, when people are starving. I will again repeat what our demand is no to a 20% rate hike. We have met many people. We had petitions with 6,000 or 7,000 people saying no, and you are shooting the bird at them because we know who you are beholden to. People are going to be hurt by this. And if you haven't been down to South Dallas, maybe you should to see what a war zone. And DART has played a role in it by cutting back on transit services to the poor and to people of color. And you know that this rate hike will reduce ridership, and you don't care. Another reason why the rate hike should not happen is if you haven't been paying attention, maybe you should, about the fires that are happening not only in California, but around the world because of global warming, which now really is climate catastrophe, climate chaos. Instead of making people want to use cars more, we need to make transit free or as cheap as possible. Because Texas is #1 in the United States for greenhouse gas emissions and probably 7th in the world. The world is burning, and this city is not, you're smiling. Well, I tell you, your kids won't be smiling.
Mr. Stewart, I know you're emotional, but when you yell into the mic, it's really too loud. I'm sorry.
Well, you haven't been listening to us, have you? So maybe you need to have a little bit of loudness. I will not make any apologies.
I'm not asking you to apologize. I'm asking you to lower your voice.
Well, I will do what I can. Quit interrupting me.
I beg your
Where our goal is that. Well, thank you. I want some minutes because she interrupted me.
Because you're yelling. Do you realize
I don't
that?
care. Our goal is that this city needs.
You're done.
No, this city
Yes, you
needs
are.
to reduce
You are
fares.
done. He's done.
And this city needs to address climate disruption. And you're not doing it. And we will do whatever it takes to have a DART that is democratically controlled, not by people who are bought off. I am done.
Good.
What's your notes?
Okay, next speaker is Sherilyn Samuel. And also, Norris Johnson.
You skipped one of yours.
Pardon?
You used to have this earlier, but you marred it in the basket.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, Ms. Samuels, you mind if Mr. Reese comes before you? He was actually next in line.
Wrong bit. Everybody's disrespectful.
I just wanted to reset, I live at Base 417 Montgomery Drive, Dallas, Texas, and thank you for giving me 3 minutes. I initially came to speak about the fare changes, but with more compassionate, they told me, so I want to address the issue that happened about 3 years ago with a friend of mine. He went to the Hampshire station to buy a weekly pass for $25, put his money in, and got a blank on the opposite side, grabbing that blank, he brought it up here to the door, and for the past 3 years, they've been investigating a $25. They have his card, and each time we called to ask about it, they said, we're still investigating. 3 years later, they're still investigating a $25. And we were core concerned, we no longer, he couldn't make it here tonight because he's working tonight. So I'm here to speak in his stead. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Lord.
Good evening.
I am a woman of great faith. God is an awesome God. And sometimes He allows things to happen in your life for a reason. My wrongful termination from Georgia, where some of the people in Georgia that had their hands in it make it bad for my life, God made it good. I have gotten a chance to be a part of a lot of protesting, a lot of injustice that's going on in this whole United States against the poor people. Well, we're here, the Poor People's Campaign. That campaign started with Dr. King. He didn't get a chance to finish it because they took his life. But the Reverend William Barker has taken that campaign up. And by me being off work, so that I won't lose my mind like somebody in your audience said I was, I've been out protesting, doing the things that I like, fighting injustice for all. So when you do stuff that's right, people watching you. Well, how many of y'all know now that I am the faith leader for the Poor People's Campaign in Dallas, Texas. If you know about the Poor People Campaign, if you don't, please do it. Because when I came aboard, we have gotten 40 states on board. And we're going to continue to get all the states on board. Search your heart. If you believe in God, search your heart. Always do what's right. Because at the end of the day, God has promised that. To go around and mistreat people, make up false stuff on them to cause them to lose their job. But God also put somebody in my life that kept things running in my household. See, what some people mean for bad, God meant it good. And I'm looking forward to seeing you back in this boardroom with my daughter and mom. Thank you. Thank you.
Our last speaker is Coach Norris Johnson. Coach here. Also, Miss Green has come in, and Miss Green, you can speak after the coach, okay?
Thank you very much.
You know, I can't help but commend the entire board and everybody subordinate to the board for having endured today an arduously long finance committee meeting. And all of you still look sane. My concerns today are multifold, but I'm going to be very precise because of my concern for the time and speaking privileges of others. I stand before you today a proud native Dallasite with mixed heritage and a statement I want to make that will encourage even more incentive-based awards like the ones I saw earlier tonight that for a change literally made my heart smile. Everybody who goes to work, and bear in mind, Davis Carlson, bear in mind, I'm retired. I don't need anything from anybody but respect. I managed to do a pretty good job of getting that. My hopes are that in the growth process, an appreciation for certain people who are pivotally involved in our growth process. You know, the security staff out front, headed up by Chris, 5-star from Walden Security. Chief Addison and his understaffed but strongly willed people that get out there and try and protect us. How many of you have actually taken time to get an awareness of the Wall Street Journal, the New York Stock Exchange, the Bloomberg reports, and look at how much worse our financial condition could be? Get an awareness before you make a lot of noise so you'll be able to make a lot of sense based on your education of reality. We live in a nation where our economy is tightening every day. We have to remember that. We have to respect people in positions of authority. We have a very good system here. You think I'm lying, travel about this nation and look at all the others that look like stagecoaches and Flintstone mobiles. It's ridiculous. We need more positive, proactive things happening. Everybody who's still working wants to be appreciated, respected, and safe. I said a lot of positive effort. Gary, later on, I want to meet with you and whoever the chaplain or next closest thing is affiliated with our guard system, of which I'm still proud. Let's bear in mind, same underwear we get mad in, we can also get glad in. So get in touch with reality, folks. I'm done.
Thank you, Coach. Ms. Green?
Hello, my name is Olinka Green. I reside at 2708 Eagle Drive. I'm a resident of Oak Cliff. I'm here today to talk about the fare hikes. I'm a part of the community. I've been riding the bus since I was 14 years old. I'm a disabled black woman, so I don't drive, so I depend on the bus transportation. And my concern is about the fare hikes. It's really going to impact people of color. It's really going to impact people of low income status. It's going to really impact the working class. It's going to impact people who have to take their children to school. Usually when I get up here, I'm usually like really shouting or something like that, but I want to make my words clear today, even with heels, so I can stand up and so you can see me, because usually I'm behind the podium. But this is really important to me because the people that are being impacted, they look like me. The people that are concerned are the people, the fare hike people that don't look like me. We put up 2 bus stops in my community because the amenities that DART is supposed to provide, they were not there. Those were the places that people could sit down. A lot of places that people have to go to catch the bus, there are no places to sit. So what we did a pop stop. And we provided seating, we provided shade. This was during the week when it was like 102, 103 degrees outside. We provided shade, we provided water. We just provided basic comforts for people to catch the bus, and they really appreciated that. We came in and beautified the parts of the neighborhood off of Overton in Illinois. The businesses there were nice enough to give us electricity so we could have a sound system. We had water, we had popsicles, we had information, we had elderly people to come and sit up under the shade tree, up under the canopy, and catch the bus in 103-degree weather because there was no seats. Lancaster and Highland Hills area, we did the same thing while there was a back-to-school situation going on, and people that were getting back-to-school supplies for their children, they could come across the street and sit down with their children and catch the bus. So I'm the community that will be affected. I'm the person that will be affected as fare hikes go up. We have to choose whether we want to be able to catch the bus or pay the rent or buy our prescriptions. And that's not a very good choice that we should have. All people should have transportation rights because that's a basic right. So my other concern is that when hikes, a lot of the places that don't have bus fare, have adequate buses, are also places where there's high black infant mortality rates also, because the mothers don't have the buses to get to the clinics where they really need to get to. In Columbus, Ohio, has come up with a program that provides a bus for those mothers. And so I really would like to see the correlation. I'm going to do some research on that, on where DART does not go, or where DART seats are not available. What is the black infant mortality rate in that community? So I know my time is up, but I just want to say this. Whatever you decide not to do, as far as this bus hike, you'll see it when you're driving down the street in your car when it's cold outside, and you see people that look like me, or poor people that are in their wheelchairs, and they're outside, and they're on the streets, and there's no shelter for them, and they're in the cold because there was no seats for them, or there was no shelters. Those are the people. So if you decide not to be fair in this, I just want you to think about it this winter when you're driving down the street and you're in your car and you see people that look like me, or poor people that look like me, and have to stand out there and have to decide whether they had to pay their rent, or whether they had to give up their prescription, or did they have to choose bus fare, which is unfair to them. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Appreciate it. We have no other business before us tonight, so we are adjourning at 8:03 p.m.
Ms. Williams, hopefully, favorite videographer. We love comments. If you don't like the way DART is handling things, lay it out for everyone to see. If you like or hate this video, tell us. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, tell us. We even love it when you call. Better yet, like or follow us on Facebook, or subscribe to us on YouTube and get instant notices